Hey everyone, it's Alex, and welcome to this Marvel Snap new card release review. We're going to be discussing Goliath, the latest card to enter the spotlight caches of Marvel Snap. We're going to be talking about whether the card's good, if the card is worth getting, but most importantly, showcasing some decks which we found quite a bit of success with to get you started on your journey with Goliath. There's a couple things we need to talk about right off the rip though. Obviously, the elephant in the room, the Goliath elephant in the room, is the idea that you have the snap packs coming out either at the end of April or possibly the beginning of June. Hopefully it's the end of April to prevent situations like this where it's really hard to determine whether or not it's worth rolling your keys. Now, Goliath is unique in the sense where I do believe it's going to be an ongoing archetype staple going forward. Pretty much every ongoing deck moving forward is going to have Goliath to some degree. Honestly, I think it's that impactful. It's that good. It's very strong, and we'll talk more about that in a moment. But I think the challenge is that all the keys you save and all the resources you save going into the new card acquisition model should, in theory, go further than wasting them now. And I'm not going to say wasting them, but the problem is with this gacha-based system, you have Goliath, which is 6k tokens, right? You can buy Goliath straight up for 6k and not have to worry about rolling your keys. And each key that you kind of roll over into the new mode new card acquisition model is going to be 3,000 tokens each. Conversely, you can try rolling for Goliath, and if you single roll him, then you got a discount, right? 3,000 tokens for that key got you Goliath. That's not too bad. But what if you 3-roll? What if you 4-roll? If you're missing Gwenpool and Goliath, I think it's going to be worth rolling, simply because I think Gwenpool is a very good card that makes a lot of decks, and I think that Goliath is going to be a core card and ongoing going forward. If you're missing Goliath and Cersei, I don't think Cersei's worth rolling for. However, Goliath's worth having. The major problem is that we don't know the cost of the card packs moving forward, and so it's hard to evaluate what your resources are worth now. So, very tricky spot to be in, and I find it difficult to make recommendations not knowing that information, because I don't want to be like 4-roll for Goliath, because then if your luck's anything like mine, you end up 4-banging in the keys and it feels pretty awful. There is something else that's very important and worth noting, is that you're not really just thinking about Goliath right now if it ends up being a meta ongoing deck, because there's a card that synergizes incredibly well with Goliath, and that is Moonstone. It's very likely and almost feasible that the best Moonstone decks are going to be the best Goliath decks and vice versa. Moonstone just simply is gravy on top of Goliath. It really is. It's just remarkably high powered to play the two in the same location, and obviously other ongoing effects love it as well. So, if you're interested in Goliath and you're interested in playing more ongoing decks, there's a good chance that investing in Goliath and rolling your keys and spending your tokens isn't just about Goliath itself. It might actually end up to be a meta list, resulting in you having to get Moonstone too, if you want to have a meta list. There's lots of ongoing cards in the game. Actually, the ongoing cards in the game are awesome, right? There's lots of ways to sub in and sub out. You could even consider doing stuff like, Howard the Duck and Iron Lad if you have those. But it does bear to mention that there's a good chance that investing in Goliath is also an investment in Moonstone. So if you don't have this card, you're probably best to wait towards the end of the week to see how the decks shape up, to see if Moonstone actually does have an impact on Goliath's viability. So to sum it up, let's assume you have Moonstone, okay? If you don't have Gwenpool and you want Goliath, then rolling the keys is probably okay. If you do not have Gwenpool, what I would suggest you do is wait towards the end of the week and see how the meta shakes up. However, if you have lots of keys and you really like ongoing, even if you have Gwenpool, I think this is going to be a card worth adding to your collection. Just be very cognizant of how you spend your resources going into the more forgiving snap pack system, which should be a better card acquisition system overall. Let's talk about some decks. Now, you got a couple flashes of this deck while we're discussing the cards, and I have to say this was probably one of my favorites, simply because it's like very straightforward, and there's a couple key substitutions you can make. Like if you don't have Moonstone, Mystique is a good option here. And actually, I originally had Mystique, but I felt necessary to include Cosmo to protect from Enchantress, who ironically I barely saw any Enchantress. But Super Scroll, non-negotiable. You have to have Super Scroll in this deck. Do not think of cutting Super Scroll, because Super Scroll is the only way you'll be able to compete in the mirror matches, which are very popular right now. You'll also notice that Captain Carter does make these decks. Captain Carter we'll discuss more later, but honestly, the deck was really good. You'll also notice that this is a Ravonna Renslayer deck, which also leans into the idea of Mystique being a good substitution for any of the cards you may not have. But overall, honestly, this deck was solid. It had so many different options. Goliath under Moonstone and Ant-Man and etc. It was remarkably powerful. The Mr. Fantastic and Moonstone combination, especially with the buffed Mr. Fantastic giving +3 to the adjacent locations, is extremely notable. Like, it was pretty strong, and it's pure power that just goes to the locations, no matter if it's Altar of Death or, you know, Negative Zone. It doesn't matter. It's straight up power. And then you can add, you know, you can have a lane that's like Ant-Man in the middle, Goliath, Moonstone, Mr. Fantastic. That's tremendously vertical there and tremendously wide. What's your opponent going to do? Well, they Enchantress you, right? That's kind of the challenge. This deck was solid. I really liked it. If you're interested in playing some relatively straightforward ongoing, this is the one you could play. Moving on from there, we tried to go towards the 2099 variations. Now, Goliath here, potentially cuttable. And the reason why is because, again, you want to have more ongoing cards in there. We cut out Moonstone on this one because Moonstone was not particularly good into a Doom 2099 deck. The other challenge here is that without Moonstone, Goliath was still good, but he didn't have that like explosive power that you were hoping for. You also wanted Zabu and Psylocke, considering the number of forecasted cards you have, namely the Doom 2099, which gets out early. I do think that there is going to be a very good ongoing Doom 2099 deck that features Goliath, but the shape of that, you know, on this first day, we weren't quite able to determine it. There's a chance, and I was trying to figure this out, but I didn't have enough time to test, that a Goliath, Doom 2099, and even potentially like a Patriot style list, like Patriot with Dr. Doom and stuff, and Ultron might be very good. Again, time will tell. Did test it here, and I did want to test without Moonstone as well to see what it was like. Definitely lower ceiling, like absolutely lower ceiling. The card plays way better with Moonstone, but Moonstone didn't quite fit this deck. Going to the next one here, we tried Tribunal. Tribunal here, once again, does have Moonstone. One of the benefits of Moonstone here is that you can play it on Ravonna to sneak out the Iron Man and Mystique combination a little more effectively, but you just want a lot of extra pure power. Challenge here is that Tribunal is very choreographed and is very easy for your opponent to retreat on. It absolutely claps bots' cheeks, so that's a thing. But against human players, especially ones that may be playing Enchantress and stuff, it's kind of tricky. The other challenge is that there's so much Super Scroll out there, you're giving them so many high-powered Super Scrolled cards. And so the Tribunal effect can be good, but also it can kick you right in the pants, right? So ultimately, we're giving it a shot. I do expect a Captain Carter Tribunal deck to be at least playable and relevant. We'll have to see how that shapes up. For now, though, if you're interested in playing today and you're like, Alex, give me a deck that you think is good, this is what I would play. It was very successful, it was very competent, very strong, and I do think that it'll help you rank up towards Infinite, both against bots and against players. Do not cut Super Scroll, don't even think about it. And if you're missing something like a Moonstone, you know, there's so many ongoing cards you could consider, but naturally, you know, Mystiques and stuff like that are good options too, especially with the Iron Man and the fact that you have a Ravonna in play, and that you can actually Moonstone the Ravonna. Oh wait, you don't have Moonstone, that's why you're playing Mystique. Whatever. If you're missing something, Mystique's the play. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I sincerely appreciate it. As I said before, you will see some Captain Carter gameplay. We will have a dedicated video for Captain Carter coming out the next day. We'll also be doing a data mine video, you know, time permitting. I'd like to get that out as well within the next day or two. So keep an eye out for those. Subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Hit that like button if you haven't hit it yet. And I hope you enjoy these gameplay highlights. Okay. Titan's not bad for us. Getting this Spectrum out early, but I mean, we already have the Ant-Man, so we got some meek gameplay. At least it's not a mirror match. Always expecting to see tons of mirror matches here. Ravonna coming. It's been a while since I've played Ravonna Rank Slayer here. Absolutely love her. I love me some Ravonna. Man, I don't want to just pump. That sucks, man. Terrible location here. Just thinking. I think we have to play him there, though. We don't have to. We could hold him. Let's just play him, though. Of course, Goliath does benefit from Moonstone, and Moonstone's going to be want to play mid, but let's just do it this way for the time being here. Just think your Captain Carter. Follow up on top. Buff. Play Captain Carter here. Let's just... Again, we haven't played... This is our first game with Captain Carter, right? So on turn 5, we can add the Iron Man there. Iron Man's going to get, obviously, pumped by the Captain Cutter. Man, it always makes me nervous. I'm playing against, like, my deck, and there's a chance we get our cheeks clapped here, eh? We'll play down the Iron Man. Obviously, Iron Man reaches into Mr. Fantastic, too, or Mr. Fantastic reaches to the Iron Man, which is preferred. We can still fill the Ant-Man location, which is nice. And there's the Captain Carter getting the love. Got Khonshu. Grandmaster. Do they have swarms, though? No swarms. So they only have Khonshu in hand here. There's Moonstone. What I think we do here is we just do a rock into the Spectrum play, win these 2 locations. Very unlikely they're able to trade right. Hopefully we have enough left. And this is Khonshu into Bullseye discard. Okay, Goliath got hit. Khonshu brings back. Grandmaster sends Frigga over. And that's a dub. Okay, clean dub. Clean win. Captain Carter just being played on curve, essentially, giving that Ant-Man... Not Ant-Man, that's an Iron Man. Giving the Iron Man a buff there, and, yeah. That's a 44 power location with Goliath, Captain Carter, and Iron Man. We even played a rock down there. Goliath still sitting at a 9, technically, because it got hit by the Bullseye, so it's still showing 7. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to like here. Ant-Man, you know what? You go left, Ant-Man. I might do a bit of a head game. Like, I'll leave Ant-Man completely isolated by itself. You know? Just so he thinks that, like, oh, he's going to put 4 cards here, and then we just don't. The ultimate head game. New York Ant-Man, do not play there and never play there. Yondu animation's back. That's great news. Dr. Chile, you're the GOAT? No, I think you're the GOAT. Well, we're just going to run out of places to play cards now. That's a little unfortunate. Super Skrull's going to take on pretty much... Super Skrull's going to be feasting this next month, eh? Absolutely feasting. Alright. Oops. Almost didn't move the shield. I'm a little too inebriated. Kind of wanted Cap there, honestly. But also, how do you not play Super Skrull? Like, how do you not play Super Skrull? Cap would have been ideal because you just swing this guy over now. Right? We also got the Moonstone gameplay. I think I'm going to commit to not playing anything left. In theory, I should have done this a little differently, I think. Okay, as I stated earlier, my plan is to never move anything to Ant-Man and just pump Spectrum. I'm just going to do this. Goliath's going so hard, man. Super Skrull's going insanely hard. I told you. I was never going to play into that Ant-Man. New York, fake news. Oh! Took the bait. Took the bait. Look at Goliath. Just chilling. Just absolutely chilling. Goliath on both sides. 9 and 10 power. Obviously getting some Spectrum love. But, like, let's be honest. Kind of crazy. What do we got? Alright, we can make some movement happen here. I don't love that this Forge is mid. Because I kind of want to play on it, right? With stuff, but... Alright. Looks like we had a very similar idea, sir. Yeah. That's unfortunate. That is very unfortunate. But c'est la vie, as they say. We're going to go Cap. Can't play too much mid, right? Just thinking, what do I do here? Okay, they're playing mid. They're enjoying the mid gameplay. Just thinking, how do we want to approach getting a dub here? How do we get the W? Some Doom 2099 gameplay, I see. Let's see. Are we overcooking? That's the question. I see some Goliath gameplay in our future.
I am Iron Man.
We probably play Goliath right. Moose mid. Move this. Could Super Scroll. Super Scroll Goliath. So they lose here no matter what. Goliath with Moonstone cooks, but so they have 1, 2, 1, 2. I think Larval, all the Doom bots. Five, 6. He's a 1-7. It's not enough. We have initiative too. I mean, we kind of need power, don't we? The Blarvel's nice, though. Blarvel's better than Mr. Fantastic. We'll do it this way. We do benefit from the Blarvel effect. Dr. Doom, I imagine? Mm-hmm. It's easy collapse. Alright. Predictive gameplay succeeded. Goliath was enough. Sometimes Moonstone makes you overcook a bit, but yeah, Goliath on 6 there. Super Scroll continues to be a remarkably good card right now. You gotta be playing it, I guess. Alright, so we're against a very clear bot, but I'm gonna put this in the video anyways, just because it's really fun and really silly. We're gonna put a Mr. Fantastic mid. We're gonna get this dub here on this bot. We're gonna cook in terms of power with this Moonstone Goliath Mr. Fantastic gameplay. Look at Bar Sinister, what a sight to behold. Look at Goliath ticking up.
I am Iron Man.
And another moose. 192 power, it ain't bad. We lost left or right, sorry. Oh man. They almost got us. They almost got us. That was just fun. A little silly one. Man, I love me some Goliath though. We do have Captain Carter, who I think can most effectively be played in into Aunt May's, be swung on over. This looks like a 2099 list. All right. They have initiative. They might get themselves a Nor thingy. And that's the Doom 2099. That's what we expected, admittedly. This is probably bad for me. Let's see if we can make some magic happen here. Miss Carter, please. Thank you. Whoa. Got some Super Scroll gameplay. I also have some Super Scroll gameplay, though, available to me. Pretty high hits with Jubilee. But Ravona's pretty nice here, too. I think if we Ravona Moose... Okay. They're going to run out of real estate, though. Moonstone Moose? Just fully lean into this or what? They're snapping though? Mystique and Moonstone. Kissing in a tree. Okay. Super Scroll goes pretty hard here, but I don't think we need Super Scroll here. The only thing is, I'm just thinking, if we put it here. This, no. It's Scroll plus Jubilee. Okay, we do this. Scroll left, Jubilee. Let's just send it. Who cares? Let's see what happens. This is kind of a fun game. I don't think we can outpace Spectrum, especially at 18 power. Possible Iron Man victory, though? Wait. Well, they're going to get Iron Man, too. Yeah, good win. That's a cool game. That's a fun game. A lot going on there. The Super Scrolls just make everything wild. Still a fun one, though. Okay. Alright, we can destroy Zabu. I don't know if we need Zabu. Probably not. The problem with Goliath in this particular list is that, like, you want Sam Wilson out first, I think. Goliath can be played later. I think we're okay with this here. Okay, against a Khonshu gamer. Have a lot of respect for players not playing ongoing on the release day of all these ongoing cards. You can certainly appreciate it, you know what I mean? We'll throw down the Goliath here. Do we get Peggy Carter? Top decked. Now, obviously, without Moonstone, Goliath is, his range is more limited here. Well, hit the shield? Hit Zabu? Alright. That could have been worse. Oh, look at this. Talking about could have been worse. What about Psylocke on turn 4 gameplay? That's fantastic. I'm so glad this game's not doing me dirty. We'll get the Doomers at least. We're so scammed. We're so cooked, man. Unbelievably cooked here. This is one of the better Dan Hips, too. Okay, you still can't bring back anything with Khonshu. Well, Swarm actually technically is discarded then replicated. So you can bring back Swarm with the Khonshu. That might not be obvious to some people, by the way. But it is actually how it works. Maybe just do this, hope for the best? Lol, I don't know, whatever.
I am Iron Man.
Come on, Goliath. We won. Oh, no. Come on. Oh, man. I did not expect to win that one. And that game went so poorly, too. You didn't get the Doom 2099 pumps. You didn't get the Captain Carter pumps. Goliath is a 2-5. It's okay, on that note, Goliath feels very non-impressive this game. It's still a 2-5. Which was what, Lizard's stat line forever? Alright. So I guess the floor is decent, at the very least. Like, this is basically the floor, right?